much did you make when you did that?
We ended up making maybe $10,000, and we did it over the course of maybe 30 to 60 days is when.
Hold on, back up. I wake up in the morning and I go through life and I meet people and I just ask myself, what are they putting in the water? You have two ways to make money. One is way easier and makes way more money, but yet you're sitting here trying to mess with this one.
Point mate. Point mate.
Jeriel is a night nurse, and because she gets paid hourly, she can only make so much money. So I sat down with her to help her come up with a profitable business idea. But I found that, like many of you, she had it staring her in the face the whole time. And I hope you'll watch this and realize that your best idea is already right in front of you. Let's take a look. Jeriel.
Yep.
How honest do you want me to be? Scale of 1 to 10.
11.
Oh. Okay. What is your business?
I have a local service-based business, and I am what people call a night nanny or a newborn care specialist. Doctors, lawyers, pilots have babies, and they can't be up all night with the babies because their jobs are very important, and we want our pilots well rested. So they hire people like me to come to their home, maybe 3 years in at this point. Last year, I did $55,000. It's so up and down, if I'm being honest. It's not consistent per month. I think part of it is that I'm independent contracting, and so I do make money that way. The other part is that I don't know what marketing and messaging to really put out into the market to attract my target clients. I charge $40 an hour. Typically, people will buy a bundle of hours, so 125 hours, and then they'll have you come 3 times a week for a certain amount of weeks, or 4 times a week for a certain amount of weeks.
So 40 times 40 equals $1,600 a week.
Well, yes, but I'm not booked.
I'm trying to figure out the maximum amount of money you can make. So $1,600 a week times 4, that's only $6,400 a month. So what you're telling me is even if you literally were the best in the world at this, you were 10 out of 10, you were fully booked, you can only make $6,400 a month.
Yeah, which is the problem with the time-based offer. Typically, people charge less, 25 to 35.
In the interim, you want to get more clients.
I do. In the interim, I do.
Okay.
I'm independent contracting with the agency, and that's the main way that I get
clients. So you put it on the agency.
Well, yes. And then I also have friends in the industry who will refer clients to me.
I have an idea for you. Does the agency take a percentage of what you?
Exactly, yeah. So the agency will charge the client $40 an hour, and then we make less than that. It's a different rate for weekdays and weekends, but it ranges from 30.
Oh my gosh, so you don't even make the full 40?
No, not through the agency. Because they're doing the marketing, the advertising, they do the contracts and all of that. So yeah, it's a collaboration where. Yeah.
When a couple is having, especially their first baby, a lot of times they will attend certain classes or things that will help prepare them for the baby.
Like childbirth education, newborn care.
Right.
Yep.
So here's my idea. What if you held a local seminar, a local event? It was for, how to take care of your baby once it's born, how to get through, call it the first 6 months.
Okay.
It's a nice name, the first 6 months.
It is.
The first 6. How to handle a whining, crying little demon child for the first 6 months.
Yeah.
You promote this free event on social media. We'll talk about how to promote it in a minute, but you promote it, right?
Okay.
You get people there, you teach them, and then at the end you make a pitch. Hey, if you don't want to do any of this,
hire me.
Hire me. Because that's one of the classic ways to sell something. You say, hey, you have this problem. Here's the solution.
Okay.
Here's how to implement this solution. Oh, that sounds too hard, too complicated? Fine, I'll do it for you. And then at the end, you pitch your services. Now, here's what I think you should do. Okay. You obviously have a lot of experience in this business. You seem to be relatively business-minded. Okay.
Yeah.
What's going to happen when you get booked out?
Either going to have to start a wait list, turn people away, or refer out.
Another better idea for you. Okay. Look. There is one thing that is more powerful than anything in this world, and that is the power of words. Every president that has ever been elected why? Because of the words they chose to say to the American people. Every war was started and ended over words. Every relationship started and ended
words again.
Words. When you can master what to say, you can master the world. If you were to come up with a single talk that you could repeat over and over again, and you figure out a way to get enough people, maybe 10, even 20 at a time consistently to a local coffee shop, a local this, a local that. You crack the code on getting people there because people are having babies all the time.
Every day, literally.
Yeah, they're bumping uglies constantly, okay? All right? But if you can figure out how to get these people to an event, you have a solid talk, you're going to get so much business that you're not going to be able to do it, which means that you could start a...
You want me to say I could start an agency?
Yes. There it is.
Okay.
And now you sit back and you collect money and you do
the marketing and continue with talks to bring the people in.
And you know what else you could do? You could create a certification program where you teach them how to be night. What do you call it? Not night nurse, but
I said night nanny.
Night nanny. Hold on, I got to see something here. You just got me curious.
Yeah.
All right, night nanny. This is what I do, but I'm gonna go to GoDaddy.com.
Mm-hmm.
I highly doubt this is available, but if it is, it's a sign. Okay.
Okay.
Nightnanny.com. It is available, but $9,000. But look at that. That's a sexy domain.
It is.
It's a sexy domain. Because see, now you can expand to the online market. You can sell courses on it. And look, I would normally not be like, oh yeah, become a course creator, because most people don't know jack about. Yeah. You sound like you've been doing this. You actually have expertise in this. Could you help other people become night nannies?
For sure. I've kind of already started. I have a podcast that I've kind of been on for like the last 3 years or so.
That's where the real money's at.
Okay.
Yeah, education. I mean, there's a lot of options you have here to expand your income past, because this whole working for $40 an hour, which it just sounds like you don't even get the whole amount. You get 28. What is that? That's like $5,000 a month. Do you know in 22 states in the United States of America, you need at least a 6-figure salary to afford a entry-level home?
I'm experiencing that now that I'm looking at homes.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, creating a talk that you can do over and over again can bring you so much business, and you can take that same talk and you can modify it and use it to teach this. There's a lot of people who $4 or $5,000 a month right now actually is a lot for them because maybe they're making $2.
Right.
And if you could help those people, that's fantastic. These are some of my suggestions.
Okay. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I feel like the other potential market that I see is the parents of the new parents. So new grandparents who live overseas or out of state and want to purchase night nanny services for their child. That has happened to me a few times where I have a client who has maybe parents in Germany and they won't be able to see their grandbaby until their grandbaby is like 3 months old. So since they can't travel to the U.S. to see their grandbaby, they end up purchasing my services so their children can have support until they end up getting there.
I'm confused. You're going to take my baby on a plane and...
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that my services become a gift to the new parents because their parents feel guilty about the fact that they won't be there, they won't be around, so they won't be able to come over to make meals or to hold their grandbaby. So they end up purchasing night nanny support.
To me, I would feel like my parents were being intrusive and...
Intrusive, really?
Oh, yeah. I would totally feel like that. Because that's whether or not to use a night nanny, to me, seems like a very personal decision. And if my parents were just to call me up one day and say, hey, I'm sending a night nanny over, I'd be like, Ma, don't you think that's a conversation we need to have as a family, Unless you're saying that they're already aware of it.
Well, I have had one client who wasn't aware. Most of the time they are aware, though.
That just sounds like one little angle, right?
Okay.
Like, fair. hey, do you have grown kids who just had their first baby? You know that they're struggling for support, right? Blah, 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 blah. Right, book a call. Like that's just like one little teeny little extra angle. I wouldn't base your whole business off of that. Right?
Okay, fair.
But it's a good advertising angle. The fact that you have a podcast, so that's amazing. And who's the target audience for the podcast? Is it
people who want to do what I do?
And how's that podcast doing?
It's doing okay.
Give me numbers.
The podcast has been around for maybe like 3 years. We're at around 40,000 downloads or so.
A month, a year?
No, I mean like total, like over the course of the 3 years.
Have you tried to sell these people anything?
No.
You should sell them something.
I mean, we've tried to sell like one-off like virtual classes that we've done like live on Zoom.
Have you sold it?
Yeah, it did sell. So we sold like a series of like 4 different like virtual classes to teach people like how to get started, how to set up their business.
So you did? Okay, how much did you make when you did that?
We ended up making maybe $10,000, and we did it over the course of like maybe like 30 to like 60 days is when.
Hold on, back up. Yeah, I wake up in the morning And I go through life and I meet people and I just ask myself, what are they putting in the water?
Well, I don't drink water, so I don't know. But
You're definitely not a nurse. You made 10 grand in a month, double or more than you make now. And you just, what?
I had like a collaboration partner, and we kind of did it together, and we're not collaborating anymore. And so that kind of just stopped, honestly. And I never went back to it. It was maybe like a year ago.
Well, why not?
I don't know. I guess because I was so focused on my other service-based business where I'm actually supporting families. Yeah.
The maximum you could, it is crazy. It's batshit crazy.
It sounds crazy
You
when
just
you say it like that.
You just said, I'm struggling to make money in this current business model.
Yeah.
Even if I do everything correct, the maximum I will make is $6,400 a month, which isn't even that because I got to pay agency fees.
Yeah.
And then you just told me that you pretty easily made 10 grand with your podcast selling an online class, and you decided not to pursue that.
We were advertising on the podcast and also in Facebook groups, like industry-related Facebook groups.
So why don't you just do that?
I mean, we sold really, really low ticket like courses. Like the class was like $37, $47, and we were like an hour on Zoom.
Wonderful. We can talk about raising your prices another time.
Okay.
The point I'm trying to say is you made 10 grand. Scale 1 to 10. How easy was it to make that 10 grand?
1, for sure.
It was super easy.
It was really, really easy.
To make that same amount of money.
Yeah, it was
as a night nanny. What would that be on a scale of 1 to 10?
It's definitely harder. It's like a 7 to make that same amount of money.
What you're saying is you have 2 ways to make money. One is way easier and makes way more money, but yet you're sitting here trying to mess with this one.
Point made. Point made.
Come on now.
Yeah, point made. Okay.
You're a smart woman.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this business, okay?
Well, it's not a business. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So I ended up getting a podcast host, like co-host, and we ended up co-hosting together. And eventually we said, you know what would happen if we started putting out like online classes that we taught live? So we just experimented with it. But like I never created a business with it.
Create a talk to teach people how to become night nannies. We often in the industry call this a webinar.
Yes, I've been on a lot of them.
At the end, yes, you've probably been on mine.
Yeah, I have, yeah.
At the end of each podcast episode, hey, if you're interested in becoming a night nanny, we have a free training. Go to blah.com, nightnanny.com.
Okay.
And watch the free training. Podcast and YouTube traffic is very high quality. Instagram sucks. People who watch my YouTube videos, they buy immediately. You're probably going to buy something from me quite easily, okay? Because they're invested. They want to learn, right? That's why people are on YouTube. People are on Instagram just to feel like they look good or some, I don't know why people are on Instagram. People who listen to podcasts, they want to learn. People who are on LinkedIn, they're professionals. They want to connect. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Instagram's kind of like the ghetto. Liquor store, gun store, dollar store, liquor store, gun store, dollar store. Do you know how to create a webinar?
Yeah, absolutely.
You do?
I've watched a lot of them. I'm in Get Clients, so I've
Get
watched like
Clients
sold out.
University?
Yeah,
Okay,
I've watched
okay.
sold out courses in some of your other stuff
Sweet,
too.
sweet. Okay.
Yeah,
there you
for
go.
sure.
You got what you need.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
That's what I would do. The point I'm trying to make is go focus, lock yourself away for 72 hours, write yourself a webinar, put it on a friggin' landing page.
Okay.
If you want to splurge, grab nightnanny.com. It's an investment. Trust me, you can resell that domain.
Clearly, somebody else is.
Yeah. Well, you know what you do? You send them an offer. You take about 30% off. So I like that. I like nightnanny.com. It's $9,000, but you can always reach out to them. You can call the GoDaddy and you can say, hey, listen, I'd like to make an offer. Send them an offer for like $6,000. Like mine's getclients.com. Well, I have several. I have getclients.com. I have aifreelancer.com. These are simple, easy to remember domains.
Okay.
So that people aren't going, what was that website again?
Yeah.
Right? They hear your podcast, nightnanny.com. Boom. If this works and your webinar convert means like when people watch it, good percentage of them buy compared to the others in the industry.
Okay.
You can do what's called joint ventures. You know what that is?
Yeah, where you're like collaborating with other people in order to have them sell your product for you, or like affiliate marketing.
Most affiliates suck. What you want to do is, they're just normal people. They don't have a list. What you want to do is you want to reach out to people who have large lists. And in your particular space, it's going to be like make money lists, or it could be parenting lists. Because sometimes moms are looking for extra work, whatever. And you just say, hey, I have this presentation. It converts at 3% for a $1,500 product. We do a promotion where you email your email list, and you invite them to this presentation, and I do it. You're going to get $750 for every sale. Let's say you guys make 50 sales. Well, 50 times $1,500 is $75,000.
Okay.
Now, if you divide that by 2, that's $37,500 for each of you. If you can find just one partner every month that has a decent sized list, a couple hundred people to a webinar,
Okay.
and you sell 50, That's 37,500 grand. It's
Who would you
37,500 a
target
month.
for like joint ventures? Like, are you thinking of like mommy influencers?
The easiest is going to be anybody with a make money list, which there's plenty of, because technically this is what we call business opportunity. So for instance, the last one I spoke at, it was called Webinar Con. It's a conference.
Oh, no way.
I just spoke at Affiliate World as well.
Okay.
There are events and conferences everywhere. Are you broke?
No.
Okay, so you got money. You can get a plane ticket, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I got one here.
You can, that you did. You can literally go to an affiliate conference. What I would do is I would do the webinar yourself.
Okay.
And I would have numbers. And I'd like literally whatever software you use, I would screenshot the numbers, or I'd make numbers like a one-sheeter. And especially if you have nightnanny.com, that looks really good. All right. I would go meet people. And what do you do? I teach everyday women to make a side income by becoming a night nanny, or make a full-time living by becoming a night nanny.
Okay.
Oh, what's that? And you hand them the sheet. And you say, right now we're converting at 3%. We pay $750 per sale. Our EPC is whatever dollars. I'd love to talk about scheduling a promotion. One event, you can connect with 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, maybe even 20 partners.
Okay.
They email their list. You do the webinar. Boom, you're both making big bucks. And now you've just gone from struggling, making $5 grand a month, staying up all night dealing with whiny ass children. God bless them.
Yes.
You know.
It's a struggle, yeah.
To making tens of thousands of dollars a month. Why? Because you mastered one thing, what to say. Communicators make the most money. Actors, musicians, politicians, speakers. We make the most money because we know how to communicate.
Yeah.
Communication is the most lucrative skill. Zig Ziglar said this. He said, if you want to get what you want in life, all you have to do is help other people get what they want. You help them get what they want, you're going to get what you want. All you have to do is learn how to say it. And there's very few people I say, start a course, right? Because I'm like, oh, please don't start.
I know, I watch these. You never say that.
No, because everybody these days, they want to start a course on something they don't know how to do. And I'm just so sick of it. But in your case, it's different. You actually do know what you're doing. You've had podcasts on it. Like, you know what you're doing. And so for you, I would say, yes, you are in a position where I feel strongly that selling an info product, selling information, you can do it ethically.
I appreciate you saying that, because sometimes you don't know when it's time to move on to coaching, and you can feel like doing the thing that you're doing, you have to do it for a long time to validate the fact that you can be a coach to teach other people.
I would just make a course.
Okay.
I mean, you can do coaching, but it sounds like, I assume most of them will be women
that
want to learn this, are not going to have a ton of money. Otherwise, this doesn't seem like one of those jobs that someone would do who was well off already. Right. So I would probably do a course. Okay. And trust me, it's a lot more chill. Okay. Than being a coach these days.
I can do a course. Yeah. And I'm in sold out courses, so that's perfect.
Yeah. I would do probably like $1,500 course.
Okay.
If you have a mass market converting offer, you don't even have to figure out traffic. You can just go do JVs.
And you think 3% conversion is okay enough to pitch to people?
So it depends. If you at 3% for an automatic webinar, an auto webinar is good. Okay. For a live webinar, not so good. For a live webinar, you want at least 10%.
Oh, got it.
I've converted anywhere from 20 to 40, but it depends on how warm your traffic is, how good your pitch is. Granted, I'm one of the better people in the business,
obviously.
But if you can convert at 10%, I mean, think about this. Okay. So if you get even if you got 100 people on a webinar, well, 10% is 10 people. It's
10 people,
right? So 10 people times 1,500, that's $15,000 for an hour's work. Okay? Yeah. I would try to get that percentage north of 20, because affiliates are going to want to have the strongest possible conversion. Right. Look, if somebody can get 300 people on a webinar, 30 times 1,500, that's still 45,000. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
Did you expect this when you came in here
Actually,
today?
No.
Well, neither did I. I just listened, and this just made the most sense.
Okay.
So that's what I would do if I were you.
Now, if you watch that session and you're still unsure of what type of business to create, don't worry. I'll leave a link in the description where you can get a free training on what I believe to be the best and easiest business model for beginners right now. Click the link in the description to check that out. And of course, don't forget to subscribe.